I gotta just upload it into the account. But yes, and I scheduled their first appointment with the account.
Right, that's what she said.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
And then we just need to order the laser and the microphone for them.
yes,
All
so
right.
You put it to that. So basically, with this person, you have to order all that.
Right.
And with this one, it's gone.
The laser one that she did.
I set it on paper.
There's a 0.
Sure. Alright. Because I've been off the paper that. Maybe that was one of the other ones.
She just wants.
Alright, so.
How's everybody today?
Good.
Yeah? Awesome.
How about you?
Doing well. It's been a full day. Good things happening. All right. Almost ready for ya. Lost my doohickey. There we go.
Well, isn't this a little intimate crowd we have here today? How are you guys?
Good. How are you?
Good.
She just jacked her tongue.
Oh, yeah, is he looking for this?
Yeah. We're running in circles now? Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, I saw it sitting there and I was like, I think he needs this.
I was chasing you around and you're chasing me around. Awesome. Okay. Names.
Sherry.
Sherry, glad you're here.
Angie.
Angie.
Sherry, but Sharon.
Sharon,
They
okay.
call me two names.
Okay, so that'll be Sharon and Sherry, we don't mix them up. Cool. Well, you guys are in for a treat. We got a nice little group here, and we can make this as personal as we need to. So that's fun. Yeah. So let's jump in, right? I'm Dr. Tomasetti. You all met Leslie, my amazing
Hi,
team
nice to
and
meet
staff
you guys.
makes all this happen. And today we're going to talk about the 3 breakthroughs that are really going to help you understand how to solve neuropathy, not just deal with it. Okay? So, who thinks that's a good idea? You're like, that's why we're here. Let's go. But these are fun stories we get to be a part of. So, part of my job today is give you a little bit of hope back. Because I know if there's one thing I've seen doing this for a while, it can get kind of hopeless sometimes. You've been dealing with neuropathy for any length of time, right? So, Shayna, when she came in, she was a lot of pain. 2 treatments down, I've got some balance. And most of the pain on my right side is gone, and my left side is improving. So these are impossible stories, right? You've been told you probably have to learn to deal with it, live with it for the rest of your life. Is that
What was the cause of it? What did you?
great question? We're going to cover all that.
Okay.
You have to remind me of the names of it. So we got Sherry,
Angie.
Angie, and Sharon. Okay, awesome. So we're going to get into all that. You're going to see exactly why. My family is what keeps me busy when I'm not here. I got 6 kiddos and an amazing wife that really runs the show, let's be honest.
Wow.
And yeah, it's I'm a very blessed. So my goal today is to show you how to get 50 to 100% improvement even when other systems has failed. And you're probably thinking, yeah, right, baloney, right? If we're honest, she's like, yeah, me too. What have you tried so far?
Actually, nothing,
Okay. Yeah.
because I've been a diabetic for almost 30 years. And although I have some other issues with my feet that are causing problems, I woke up it'll be 2 years in September. Just woke up one morning and the sand was asleep. And I figured I just laid on it wrong.
Yeah,
whatever.
right.
No, it never went away. And so my family physician it is part of the process because of your diabetes, which I have said yes to for the last couple of years.
The
I
diabetes
just,
part?
to all of it.
Oh, sure.
To all modern medicine.
Yeah. Okay.
So I just didn't know
Yeah.
any other, like, where do I go? What do I do from here? Because I don't believe in modern medicine anymore.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Well, then we're in
we are.
similar camps as far as that goes.
We are.
Yeah. What are you trying?
We're in similar camps simply because I've always been interested in natural ways to heal.
Oh, okay.
From someone who takes 6 pills a day for heart and
Yeah.
everything else.
Uh-huh.
So,
Okay. You're like, tired of that.
Yep.
What's the real reason? Yeah. Cool. Yeah. How about you, Sharon?
Well, I've just been starting this year with my toes going numb,
Really?
and I get leg cramps,
Okay.
foot cramps.
Yeah.
And I have a tick in my face, and nobody knows why. I've had it for years. So
Okay.
that's about it.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything about it. I don't know what to do about it.
Okay. Also diabetes?
No.
No. Okay, good. It makes it easier sometimes to work on.
No, that's
Depends. I mean, yeah, you'll see. So, let me show you. So, neuropathy is, in a nutshell, damage to your nerves. Briefly about me, my voice gets tight from time to time. If you need to repeat something, Robert Kennedy Jr. and I have the same vocal challenge, so this is part of my story that I'm working through. But yeah, neuropathy is damage to the nerves. Okay, if it's central brain and spine, that's called something else, and if it's outside of brain and spine, it's called peripheral. So it's a very broad term, but it is damage, and there's over 20 million people in the U.S. dealing with this. It's like 1 in 6 people over age 45. A lot of people. So, traditional treatment options, you said nothing, haven't done a thing about it, forget it. What have they given you so far? Any options for treatment?
I take extra strength Tylenol first thing
Okay.
when I get up in the morning
Mhm.
because I'm assuming it's from arthritic hands and feet. But I can't walk to the bathroom because of neuropathy in my feet. Only for an hour. Then it'll go away.
Goes away, okay. Yeah.
And you get migraines.
I always have migraines.
Oh,
I was on whatever it was they give for migraines. I
migraines
just,
too. Yeah.
you know,
Since I was, as far back as I can remember, like, it was probably elementary school or prior to, as far back as I can remember.
Wow.
mine really started menopausal, maybe.
Yeah. And you get migraines too?
What?
You have migraines too?
No. Just tick in my face, the doctor, he thought it might have been from the medicine. Because they always try different medicines on me because I'm allergic to some of the medicine.
Wow. Okay. It's coming from the midbrain. So the midbrain controls movement. And so when there's movement disorders, it can show as a tic or shaking or various things like that. The better question is what's driving that problem? But that's where it's coming from. It's a brain-based challenge. Yeah, it doesn't mean it's insurmountable. We've helped several people with that kind of thing. But hang in there.
Yeah,
Let's give you some answers.
the neurologist, they had nothing to say about it, you know.
Yeah, because well, let's talk about it for a second. What's their toolbox? What do they have to use for treatment? Yeah, that's about it, right? We have different options. So traditionally with neuropathy, you're going to see gabapentin, Neurontin, Lyrica. Those are kind of the three standards. And they may try to regulate it if there's blood sugar problems with sugar-lowering meds, metformin and so on and so forth, insulin if it's insulin dependent and whatever. But that doesn't actually fix the underlying cause It just gives you some symptom relief, basically, right?
Yeah.
So typically it's prescription drugs, and then worst case scenario is amputation. And if you're diabetic, you're in a higher risk category for that. Not accused here, but you need to know how that can go, right? So, but the bottom line is they're trying to manage symptoms. That's the best they got to offer in traditional medicine. And it can give some relief temporarily, but again, it's not solving underlying problems. So that's what we're going to talk about. Today is, what's all that, right? So yeah, I've seen too many things I don't want to see anymore. And so part of that is actually trying to get a message out like this, because we don't have the budget like Big Pharma does. We can't advertise globally and whatever, right? So thanks for being here. But here's what happens, and I've seen this too often, is like, people come in and they're like, "Doc, I can't move anymore. It hurts. Like, I can't go to the bathroom. It's painful to walk." Like, and then you go, "Well, what if that keeps going? Then I don't get to enjoy life anymore." You start just sitting around, right? Like, the fun things aren't fun anymore. And you just kind of stop living. Are you guys kind of like, where you at on that spectrum?
I'm the same first thing, and like, I have my room set up that I have things that I can use to stabilize myself.
Oh, wow.
Because if not, I within the first couple steps, I will fall.
Wow.
Like, my balance is so bad.
So that's a scary thing.
I can't walk. Like, I'm on my feet all day at work. I'm
Okay.
a custodian at a high school.
Okay.
I'm busy.
Yeah.
I have over 1,000
God
students.
bless
in
you.
my school.
That is like a
Right?
serious.
Like,
Yeah.
that just in itself.
Yeah.
But I cannot, I'm constantly, I can't walk in a straight line. I'm bouncing off of walls and using handrails just to move through the school because my balance is so off. But I did just see a neurologist Monday a week ago.
Yeah.
And I have some other unrelated things going on. The migraine is part of the long history of migraine has caused some possible seizure activity with transient amnesia. So, but all these other things are I'm reading up on this, and like the balance and the migraines and all these things. And I'm like, and I know at the end of all this, there's just going to be another medication that you want to give me that I'm going to say, "No, Big Pharma,
No,
I'm
thank
tired
you.
of you. Let me find something."
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Hanging there, because you might have some answers to how all that connects. And I want to show you guys, hopefully, give you a lens to look at for healthcare, if you're okay with that. So yeah, like, what if we can get that back? What if we can make changes and get some of your life back? So what's the better way, right? Instead of that, pharma, what do we do? A little bit about my story that got me to stand here doing this kind of stuff is I never wanted to be a neuropathy expert. Anybody else learn the hard way? School of hard knocks. So let me share that story with you briefly. My dad, he was a Vietnam veteran, served 2 tours in Vietnam. And part of that was Agent Orange exposure, which is a neurotoxin. And we have a family history of blood sugar, so he wasn't diabetic, he was pre-diabetic for a while. And started losing balance. But he's a tough guy, right? So he never was like, "Oh, this isn't bad, this is a big deal." So he could handle it. And our neighbor was having a litter of puppies. And so we went up to the garage to get a kennel up out of it. And so he was coming down the steps, and he lost his balance. And he fell and broke his neck. Yeah. And that completely changed our life, right? Like, it's a big deal. So we went from whatever regular family was to now Dad's in Philly, and we're, he's at the rehab hospital for months and months, and they did everything they could, but like, he's in a chair, for the rest of his days. And he's a C5 quad where, he could kind of feed himself a little bit, but couldn't like his kids and grandkids anymore. So that, and living through that and going like, okay, well, what do we need to do to put a master on the main floor, right? Because he had a 2-story house, and it's like back then, that was 10, 11 years ago when he fell. That was like 50 grand for basic stuff back then. I'm not talking like marble, it's just like, regular stuff. And now, I'm sure it's triple that just for a basic idiot compliant bathroom and master, right? So we've lived through the financial, the emotional, the physical, the caretaking, like all of that. And so that was like, no, we got to figure out another way, right? And so that led me to dig deep into this and figure some things out. So yeah, he broke his neck there, my kiddos and my nephews when they were younger. But so yeah, that really led me to dive deep into this. How do we keep that from happening? And that led me to figure out the legacy way. It's not just our name; it's actually how we do things. And so we first of all listen intently, because a lot of times I hear people run through the doctor's office like a 5-minute visit, and you're out, and here's your med, and like, okay, we like to do that a little differently. Then we do our expert vision exams. We are checking things at a deeper level that most people have never had done before. And that gives us information to put together gentle and genius protocols. Things that are actually working at the fundamental level for how the body operates to get things better. We activate the healing response with different technology and therapies that make sense. Create mind-body connections, because if your dogs are barking, like grandmother used to say, right? Like it's not connected to the brain. You got to make sure those pathways are open back up. And stress can be a big player in there too. And then we are kind of the bottom line there is why. Right? It's your legacy. It is your life. You get one of them. Let's give it the best we got. So that's kind of our approach. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So with that, that's led me to, I've been doing this for over 7 years. We've seen well over 2,200 cases, seminars. They ask me to speak from time to time, consult with other doctors. That's kind of my background is developed out of this whole thing. And then we've seen stories like Jay and Judy. We're miserable, experiencing a lot of pain in the legs, walking to the challenge, right? Like you're experiencing thought it was arch issues, was actually neuropathy, and now I'm walking without pain. And then Rick, sleeping was driving him nuts. So is that bothering any of you guys? The sleep part? Or to sleep? Yeah. He'd wake up 5-6 times a night. And then the same thing. When Herb's got to pee and all the things he had to do.
Yeah.
And then now he's sleeping better, 75% better. His real reason for showing up and doing the work was his son had severe special needs. He's like, I gotta be the dad, I gotta show up for the family. And Rick did amazingly well. Sandy, the same thing. A lot of pain came in, couldn't walk, a lot of pain, my right leg's better, my feet are feeling better. It's helping, it's worth every penny. Like these are just stories to encourage you. People that have been in your chair not long ago are on the other side of this now living the life that they wanted. So I want to show you the root cause, and then we're going to go through our 4-pronged approach to actually making changes. You're going to see that in real time. We're going to give one of you an opportunity to actually get treated today, at least a miniature version of that, and see what kind of changes we can make. Okay? And then hopefully you're getting some hope back already. And then show you what next steps could look like, okay? So that's our plan. Here's the first one. Let's cover number 1 right now. This is going to be your little demonstration. Put your hand up like this for me. That's your nerve cell. And these are the blood vessels that feed the nerve cell. Okay? So now I want you to make a fist as tight as you can. Don't make it hurt. But if we held this, let's say, for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, what are you going to experience? What are you going to feel?
It's not gonna happen.
Right, yeah. But let's just pretend 15 minutes fast forwarded. What are you going to notice in the hand? What might you feel? You just squeeze that super tight.
Numb.
Yeah, might get numb. What else? What do you think?
It'll stay there.
It'll stay there. You'll get stuck. The stiffness, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, get stiff, get numb, maybe some tingling, right? Kind of neuropathy symptoms. You can rest your hand. So does that make sense? So when you start to choke off the blood supply and you choke or starving the nerve of nutrients, it's going to let you know. It's going to start to hurt. It starts to get numb. It's like those are the signals that something is being damaged. Does that make sense? So that's what causes neuropathy. When you diminish the blood flow and you starve it of nutrients, it's going to start to let you know. Okay? So the better question is, what causes this? And that's what we're going to go into next. The answer is really just in the literature. There's over 100 different reasons. It's diabetic neuropathy, it's toxic neuropathy, it's, you name the list goes on and on and on. Chemo-induced, all these things, right? But the underlying reason of all these different symptoms you're going to feel in neuropathy is gut health issues, right? Over half your immune system is around your gut. And so that's a big deal. If you're eating junk food or whatever, and there's too much sugar in there, like all these things will affect GI health, which then will damage nerves, creating inflammation. Macronutrients, that's your carbs, proteins, fats. Most of the time, sugars and carbohydrates are too high that are actually then damaging the nerve. Micronutrients, that's your magnesium, B12, folic acid, all the nutrients the nerve actually needs to operate. And so that needs to be assessed. Oxygen deprivation, again, if it's choking off there, there's no oxygen there, how long do you last? How long can you hold your breath for, right? So imagine over a long period of time, if it's doing this, you start suffocating that nerve. Over a period of time, it starts to kill the nerve off. Does that make sense? So oxygen deprivation can be from either underlying lung problem or sedentary lifestyle, etc. But these are the root causes that drive the neuropathy symptoms. You can think of it like an energy debt and crisis. If you have enough energy in the batteries in your cells, like your cell, every cell you have is an actual battery. Okay, so think of like a 9-volt. When that battery starts to drain, you can't run as many things, right? Or your cell phone, you can run all the apps you want when the battery is charged up. But what do you got to do when it's power saving mode, right? What do you got to do?
Recharge.
Yeah, you got to recharge it. So same thing happens in the body. If you have enough energy, you can fix whatever you need to. When it starts to get depleted for various reasons, now you have to make room for mutations. You have to make new cells. You're constantly making new cells, but the quality control is now less than it was. And then that leads to a process called cell death. Now you've got all these cells that don't know what they're doing, not making enough energy for you. And now that's called autoimmune. And you start to kill off these cells. Your body's attacking them. And then you get below that, and that's when the body can actually develop cancer, when the battery is dropped low enough in the cell. So there's no cell on the planet that can actually develop cancer if it has enough energy in the cell. They don't tell you that. It's fighting cancer, right? Cancer is trying to buy you more time. It's not trying to kill you. Let me say that again. Cancer is trying to buy you more time. It's not trying to kill you. What's going to kill you quicker? Liver failure or liver cancer?
Liver failure.
Kidney failure or kidney cancer?
Failure.
Get the idea? If you run out of energy, you're done. That's going to shut down and your right lights out. Same thing. Who gets heart cancer? Have you ever heard of heart cancer? Why not?
It's always going.
Always going.
Until it's dead.
Right? Most energy in the body is consumed in the heart.
Yeah.
So your body's going to donate energy. Every other battery is going to go into the heart. That's why no one ever gets heart cancer. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like kind of give you a different lens to look at your healthcare? So we're literally talking about an actual electrical charge in the cell. Like actual electricity. Okay? So that's what, like, the cell's not charged up, you're going to have problems. So when we know we're dealing with neuropathy, the battery is down here, right? When we're dealing with diabetes, and the pancreas battery, right, is down, and so on and so forth, right? Dementia, brain fog, facial tic might be, more the brain battery is lower, right? So we have to look at it through a different lens and then figure out what's draining the battery, but then also which batteries do we need to charge to make it different. Right? Is that tracking with me? So then the way we do that is through different technology. So light energy and electrons and magnets are the main physics that God made that allows the body to run the chemistry in the body. So you'll see that here in a minute how we leverage that. So secret number one, though, is restoring oxygenation back to the tissue, right? So in the thermal scan, the normal colors in my office are red and white. That's good blood flow. And then what do you see here in the feet? Yeah, so that's colder. So that was June 2nd. And this is about 6 weeks later on the 18th of July. What do you notice now?
More red.
Yeah, it's coming back. Not perfect yet, but improved. Which means we're starting to get this happening, which means now the nerves can actually start to get nutrients and get rid of toxins, and we can start the healing process. So that's secret number one, is improving that back.
How did you do that?
Great question. We're going to show you.
Magic. You're
Yeah.
supposed to say magic.
Magic. It's magic. It's physics. Okay? Yeah, light energy. And so you'll see. To put some brass tacks to it, let me share Betty's story. She's going to mention numbers. When the nerve is lost over 85% of its sensory function, in other words, you can't feel 85% of what's in your feet or your hands, that is typically the point of no return. You're going to have some nerve damage that's likely permanent at that stage. Okay, so she's going to mention numbers in here, just so you're aware of what that represents. Two things. This is my office in Lancaster. I was there for 15 years. That's why the background looks different. And no, the treatment does not turn your hair white. She went gracefully gray between the two. But I'll let Betty tell her story, and you can get a glimpse on that.
Okay.
So I'm here with Betty, and she's been, how long have you been in the neuropathy program now?
A little over 2 months.
About 2 months. And you started, and you were pretty high percentages from what memory was.
Yes, if I'm correct, I'm 88% loss on
88% right.
the right and 78 on the left.
Yeah, and we weren't really sure, like, I don't know if this is gonna help initially.
Yes.
So tell me, what were you experiencing when you first came in with the neuropathy symptoms?
Yeah. Extremely restless at night,
Mhm.
and my toes area especially hurt. It was an unusual, it was hard to define or describe the ache that's there.
Mhm.
Sometimes it felt like my feet were freezing, and yet when I touched them, they weren't cold.
Right, that sensation of freezing, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, what's been your experience since being able to start the program?
Well, I don't experience the restlessness or the pain. Yeah, and that's only with 2 months, and I have time to go yet, so I'm very delighted.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this turns out for you, because I know when we looked at your last set of numbers, you're doing, I think it was less than 40%.
There's 31,
It's 31 on one side and
31 on the other.
on the other. Oh, is he?
Yes.
See, you know better than I do. That's great.
That's
So that's a huge change from 80s.
It is.
That's wonderful.
And I'm so grateful, but the thing that really blesses my heart is my older sister is numb from her knees down,
Mm-hmm.
and now from her hands to her elbows.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hoping I could avoid that, and
Sure.
really that's helping your help.
Yeah, we're really thankful we have part of that, and that we get to be part of your story. Thanks so much for sharing that. Do I have your permission to share this with other people, other patients, other students, other doctors?
Sure.
Yeah. Any
Yes,
conditions on sharing that?
No, sir.
Okay. Thanks so much, Betty.
You're welcome. Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah, so the follow-up is to show you the long-term results that are possible when we do this kind of work. So I'll just share that one with you. It's another minute or so long on that one. Okay, so I'm with Betty. This is one of the about a 6 or so year follow-up.
Yeah.
So tell me about what your symptoms are now for the neuropathy.
Well, it's good unless I eat sweets.
Okay.
Then I have misery in my feet.
Gotcha.
Big time.
But otherwise, you don't really need your equipment right now, and you're not using that as part of your care plan anymore.
Correct.
Just stay on the diet more.
Yes,
Beautiful.
yes,
And that's fantastic long-term results with so far, especially because your sister was in bad shape.
yes,
And we've avoided that. That's thank God for that.
yes,
Wonderful.
yes. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Patty. Appreciate it.
You do as well.
Bless you. Thank you. So yeah, we weren't able to help her sister stand in a chair because she wasn't local and not around any other colleagues to do this work. But Betty was playing with her grandkids. She was non-diabetic, but noticed when she had sugar, it made her feel worse.
Oh, she just noticed it on her own.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then from here, about 4 to 5 months into her program, she got a full resolution all over her feeling back. And it stayed that way for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So if you break an arm, right, and you cast it again, and then like you need to keep wearing the cast when it's you're not right, it's healed up. When you treat the body that needs to be treated, and you keep the battery from being drained, you get really long-term results. So does that happen for everybody? No. There's various reasons for that, but these are long-term possibilities, right? That are not out of reach. So maybe this will work for me. Because I'm not too long back into this one. And the thing with Betty, like, we failed miserably the first 2 times, to be honest with you. Yeah. She's like, hey, I got neuropathy. Can you help me out? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I didn't know much about it at that point. Like, let's try some things, you know? And we got nowhere. In fact, it was probably getting worse. And then we went to the drawing board, and round 2, nowhere. And she's stuck in there. And thankfully, because we found what we're doing now, and I mean, it literally changed her life. So the second secret is reducing inflammation, right? You've heard inflammation is a bad deal, and you got to make sure that's low, right? So what does that look like? Here are the triggers, right? You're like prolonged
Right
stress.
off the back.
Yeah, prolonged stress, and that's a major one. It's a major one, especially if you have sugar handling problems, because stress triggers the brain to make more cortisol, which then raises your sugar even higher. And that's going to damage nerves over and over and over again, right? So stress is a major one. Pathogens, we're #1 in the world in Pennsylvania here for Lyme disease and tick-borne illnesses. And there's one called Bartonella that is known to cause neuropathy symptoms. The burning, tingling pain in the feet and legs especially. Even the whole body can be related to Bartonella infections. Junk food, right? No brainer on that one. Chemicals, medications, things like chemotherapy, obviously, and then other things like statin drugs are known to cause muscle weakness and neuropathy symptoms. So if you're on that, you might check with your primary about changing that up. And the better question, why in the world is my cholesterol high? No one's asking that question. That's a whole other workshop. And then heavy metals, toxins from environmental things, even the dental fillings in your teeth can cause problems with metal exposure, and toxic metal and nerves are notoriously not friends, right? The mercury, for example, actually deteriorates the nerve and the sheath around the nerve. So that can be a big deal. And then dehydration. Yeah, that's why I got some water here. But yeah, half your body weight in ounces is a general rule of thumb. And you're going to be getting some good spring water or at least a filtered water. Because like RFK is trying to get fluoride out of the water, right? Like another junk. People urinate out their medications and then that goes in the water supply. Like there's traces of all that kind of stuff in there, right? So thankfully we got cleaner water than most of the world, but still need to be considerate of the water you're drinking. So that's what will trigger inflammation. When we start reducing inflammation, here's what we see. Isabel was this still is, this amazing French lady, this really thick accent, funny sense of humor. She says, I'm on top of the world, flying on a cloud no matter what are the circumstances. I'm feeling at my best in my body. I'm 53. A year ago, I was told that I was very sick. And she wasn't wrong. She had severe type 2 diabetes, thyroid problem. Like, I mean, it was all check, check, check. And on her paperwork, she's like, if nothing changes, I'm probably dead in 1 to 2 years. And so she's like, I've got to do something. She had a daughter who was finishing high school at the time and wanted to go to college. And she's like, I got to pony up and, again, show up for the family. And it's time to take care of me so I can take care of those that were counting on me. And so we changed some things in her diet and her lifestyle. And she went all in on taking good care of herself. And in this photo here is actually 70 pounds lighter. She lost 70 pounds. Her type 2 diabetes went away. And then she gave me a bill because she needed an entire new wardrobe. She had a good chuckle about that. She's like, nothing fits anymore. I need everything to be a whole new wardrobe. So that was Isabel's story. And then number 3 is when we get to experience accelerated nerve healing, right? So when we add the right energy to the cell and charge the battery up, we can see miraculous things happen in a short period of time. So I want to show you what that looks like here. And give one of you an opportunity for a healing experience today. So, but first I want to give everybody some awareness to balance. It sounds like you already know yours is less than stellar. But I'll invite you all to stand up. Get a little bit of movement here if that's not too uncomfortable on the feet. And the first one we're going to do, there's 3 screens we're going to go through. The first one is hands go on the hips, and your feet don't do it yet. Your feet will go together, and you'll stand with your eyes closed for 10 seconds. No one should go down on this one. If you already know you will, then don't feel like you need to play. All right? The next one, if you pass that, would be one leg up, hands on the hips, 10 seconds on your strongest leg. And then if you pass that, it would be eyes closed for 10 seconds. Okay, so those are the screens. Most people don't make it past number 2. So if you feel uncomfortable and want to do this, then by all means, don't feel like you need to. But let's do the first one. I don't have my timer. Actually, I got one here. So hands on the hips, I'll watch that. And eyes closed. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you can open them. Nobody fell over. That's awesome. Now look at the person beside you. Say, "Got your back."
Got your back.
Okay. And when you're ready, try hands on the hips. I'll count us in. You do one leg up on your strongest leg, and try to bring the knee up to about waist height or so. Okay. Wait. In 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. 2, 1, and stop. Good. So, okay. So, yeah, any support is going to be a fail. That one, foot drops. Was that better than you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. For the sake of time and all that, it kind of demonstrates a little bit about balance. Is it about what you thought it was going to be? Yeah. How about you, Sherry? Was that different, or what did you notice?
Well, I noticed that my balance is used to be.
Yeah, but that's kind of waning. Yeah. And obviously that's near to my heart because that's how my dad went down and started this whole thing. So I just want to bring some awareness where that's out for you. And then with that, we're going to pick one of you to get a treatment today. So, anybody not want a treatment? Not that you're hurt, so that's what you need to know. Like, is it going to hurt?
You do it. I'll watch.
You're going, not me?
Yeah.
Okay. So between the two of you, so let's do this. We'll make it fair. We'll do rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, jeez.
Okay?
Okay.
You didn't remember rock, paper, scissors? Rock, paper, scissors. You ever do that as a kid? Well, you learned real quick. I saw you're already on. So that's rock, that's paper, and that's scissors. Pick one of those when we say 3. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then you pick one of those options.
Yeah. Whatever. But don't do that.
Right, does that make sense?
No.
No. Let's try it anyway. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay. Paper, rock. Paper beats rock.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll do that.
How does paper beat rock?
Covers it, right? I don't know why that's. Yeah.
I
You
can't
can't cut
remember
a
all
rock.
that many years ago.
I know.
She probably needs it more than I do.
That may be true. But you want fair and square. Would you like to pass that along or would you like to get a treatment?
Would you like it?
I will take it if you don't want it.
Okay, go ahead. I mean, I'd rather you have it. Go ahead.
Hmm. That's kind
Yeah, I could balance it. I just was like that.
just that one time. And that time. And the time before that. I know. Okay, so yeah, you watch closely then because then we'll see what's happening here. So let's check a couple other things.
Okay.
Congratulations. Come on up here. Yeah. And let's do how are you with your shoes off?
Sometimes I'm better with my shoes off.
That doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
Let's take them off and give you the because we're gonna need that anyway for treatment here.
See, learning that game, I'm having trouble learning things anymore. And focus.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
A lot of times neuropathy symptoms can affect brain and blood flow to the brain, right? So if it's messing up your feet, it's also got to get to the head. And that's a really common.
The joke between us is between the two of us, we have a brain.
Oh, between the city.
Yeah, it's
Because
terrible.
we can't remember squat anymore.
Okay, come over here and let's see what we got going on here, Sherry. So turn this way. And all right, so your left shoulder's a little higher than the right one. Any of your shoulder things that you should know about?
I had surgery on this shoulder.
Okay.
But I had surgery on my neck on this side, so.
I see. Okay, so we'll do see range of motion. We're not treating shoulders, but we might see other changes in the body when we do this kind of work. So we'll see what happens here. And usually the muscle that holds that shoulder down isn't firing right. So we're gonna check that nerve and see if it's working right. So turn your thumb backwards for me here, elbow straight, and pull that into your waist. Hold that in a little strong. Yeah, you're trying. Let's do the right one here.
I'm failing, but I'm trying.
Yeah, she's trying. Pull that in tight here. Yeah, see that one I can't budge. And this one here, pull in tight.
Which is funny because I'm dominantly left-handed,
Interesting.
and that.
You'd expect that to be some more, yeah. Pull that in for me here. Yeah, you're trying, it just doesn't want to. She's trying to bend her elbow and everything, but that's not firing. Okay, let this relax completely. I'm just going to check range of motion here. Nice and easy. Let me do all the work. Let this go relax. There you go. Yeah. And that one moves pretty well. It should hit her in the
Yeah,
ear.
but that's causing pain.
Was that Rose Mason?
Yeah, did you hear it?
I did hear the
It sounded
crack.
like
Yeah.
Rice
Yeah.
Krispies.
Yeah, I did notice that.
Mhm.
How about this side here? We'll go easy on that one. So it moves pretty well, but there's like are you wincing on that one too?
A
A
little.
little bit. So that's stuck right there. We'll see if it changes. I don't know. So the range isn't horrible, but definitely some pain with the movement there. Okay, got it. We already know her balance isn't ideal. I'm gonna be right here. We're just to kind of get a gauge on this. Do you have a
Front trust
nobody has a
fall,
watch
is that
on?
what this is?
Yeah,
Front
front
trust
trust
fall. I have a watch on.
Yeah, that doesn't count. You need to balance.
Yeah, I'll keep track.
Yeah, John. Awesome. So hands go on the hips for me here. When you're ready, stand on the one leg, whichever one you want.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah. 5 seconds. Okay. So if we can make that any better, that'd be a win. We're gonna check now the muscles that work with balance and stability, and then we're gonna get into the treatment part. I'm also curious about pain, so relax here for me. And any pain there. What about here?
Yes.
Put a number on that one. 2. So not bad, but noticeable something or another. Pain there, a little bit there. What do you notice there?
It's more like a
The
jabbing.
jabbing. Okay, like a 1, 2, 3, 2. And then how about there's a little something. It's that hard. What number is that?
That's like a 4.
Okay, so just some general pain sensors. Right, I'm sure the feet would be more, but I'm not trying to make people hurt. Let's have you sit in the chair for me here. There we go. And now we're gonna check the strength, like your stair climbers and your walkers, right?
Mhm.
Your and let's see if we get on that one. So you can bring your knee straight up into my hand here. Hold that up. Push up if you can. There's like nobody home. Push up if you can. You're trying. Let's do the other one here. Hold this one up for me. Okay. That one's okay.
Yep.
You got something there, but this one's really, try that again here. Hold that up.
And I purposely do the steps at work instead of taking the
good for you.
elevator
Yeah.
because I know
Yeah.
if you don't use it, you lose it. And I'm
You're
like,
gonna lose
I'm
it.
already losing, so
Right.
I do that as often as I can
Yeah.
throughout
I
my
don't have
day.
steps anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how I was. I was like, I'm in so much pain,
Mm.
but if I don't do it,
Mm.
I'm not gonna be able to.
Mm.
So
Wow. So you're like mentally.
fighting everything that my body is fighting.
Wow. And then it just wears you down sometimes. Huh? Yeah. Good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging in there, being brave. Okay, let's have you pull your heel backwards. Back that way. Yeah. Resist my pressure here. Okay, that one is offline as well. See that moving? Pull this one back. Okay.
I
It's
have,
more steady. What do you notice?
I got, you can't see it unless I take my sock off.
Oh, I
But that
see.
was, mhm.
Yep.
And that was, I was treated for it a year ago.
Mhm.
It's only gotten worse.
Yeah.
And so there's some issues there because it's caught in my Achilles tendon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, and then pain in the feet, I guess. Okay. Put a number on that.
I think that would help her with.
What?
I think that would help her with it.
Right in there, probably about 3 or 4.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm using not much pressure at all.
This one's not as bad.
No. Right there though. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, no wonder. Legs are weaker. Feet are hurting. Let's do one other test. Heels on the floor, ankles up and out. Like that. I'm gonna push down on the tops a little bit. Yeah, and those are weaker in here too. So that's her. That's when you're climbing the stair. You need to bring your foot up, otherwise you trip on the lip right at the curb.
That's what I always lead with this foot because
Yeah,
this
that one's
I
weird.
can't get this. This one has to go up the steps first.
Mm-hmm.
I step
Are
with
you
this
able to
one.
do one in any other or just one at a time?
I can. There for about 6 months ago, I could do one step at a time.
Okay.
So that has improved.
Mm-hmm.
But until I get to the top, this leg is like, okay, we're done.
We're done here. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and then you saw the whole way to tripper, right?
The whole way's fine. Yeah.
All right. So we got some information, right? Now we're gonna jump into treatment, and while that's going on, I'm gonna explain what's happening here. Dr. Mitchell is gonna support with the treatment.
Dr. Jeff.
Dr. Jeff. Yeah, Dr. Jeff.
We'll have you take your socks off for me here.
All right. Are you learning something interesting so far?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. What stood out so far? Everything? You're like, this is dull. Yeah,
I
cool.
mean,
All right.
it's everything that I read. The
Yeah.
problem is where were
Hey,
you?
that's okay.
I
You're
know.
not the worst.
Honestly,
We've
that
got-
makes me
we've got
cry
the
at night
farmers
sometimes
that
because I
come
know
in.
there's so many people out
Is
there
that like
suffering
your,
like this, and we just have no idea.
Calcium deposit
I just
that I had treated.
Yeah.
Because it's
You know,
very
before I
round
had
my Achilles
heart
tendon.
surgery, and
Yeah.
before I had
I wouldn't have to be.
Yeah.
It's terrible. It
Okay.
didn't hurt anything.
So we're not gonna touch that today, just because that's
Yeah.
not what we're.
Got it. So watch closely. This is gonna be
Just lift your feet up for me here. That comfortable enough?
all right.
since that's electronic, can you use it on someone with a pacemaker?
typically, yes. Every now and again, there's a they say don't use it in the hands. I've never seen a problem with it, but caution. We wouldn't do your hands with that. We would do your feet, so we'll use up the spine and back down.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
So this is a digital electrotherapeutic stimulator.
Yeah.
You may have heard of a TENS unit. This is not a TENS unit. So this is not TENS. TENS is 1950s technology.
I own one of
You own a
those.
TENS, yeah. If it worked, you would have used it right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't TENS doesn't work on this. This will send a signal to the nerve every 4 milliseconds. It's changing in real-time feedback to rehab the nerve. Okay. And we have different options in terms of what unit we could use. Bottom line is it rehabs the nerve signal to help eliminate pain and restore normal nerve function to the legs and the feet. The other one is vibration therapy. If you ever push a hand mower, right? What happens with your hands? Right? They go, that's tingling, that's the wrong vibration. You want the good vibes in. Vibration gets blood flow back. And it also starts to wake up your balance centers in the brain. So we use that for balance, and then enhancing circulation are the two key components with vibration therapy. And then the way this is angled, we can also tilt it, put it on the calf. A lot of people love that. We still put it down.
I have one of these.
You have one of these too?
I got it. I went to the Good Feet.
Yeah,
store,
they've got a similar thing.
Yeah, like a year ago.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah. So what you
It
don't
seems
see on
like
your
I
head
can't see what
is
he's on my
it's
head.
light therapy. Yeah, it's red light therapy. Yeah.
We're like, we're working with feet, but why am I starting with the head?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So again, blood flow. Where do you feel? The feeler is in the brain called the parietal lobe. It's actually you feel in the brain. Okay, and you make sense out of what you're feeling, and we go, oh, that's sharp, and that's cold, and that's right. The different feelings are perceived in the brain.
It's like when you stub your toe on the coffee table,
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be like, well, that's going to really hurt in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Takes them that time to get up to the brain where the brain registers it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not actually happening down the foot, it's happening up here.
Yeah. Cool thing with this, blood flow comes back. Remember the thermal picture? This is one of the main reasons we got circulation back in the foot. And then also relieving pain is its other main claim to fame. And you can use it elsewhere on backs, brains, shoulders, digestive organs, whatever we need to get energy into. Remember, charging the battery is the name of the game. So light charges the battery up. We use nutritional protocols that actually work. You might have seen these online, buy this, try that cream, whatever. If they work, I don't see them in here. But it is only one leg of the stool. Okay? So the main thing is, I'm more concerned about eliminating the junk than, oh, you're on this special diet. It's like, we just need to stop draining the battery. And clinics all over the country are doing this, well over 500 probably by now, with the same protocols, with the same consistent results with tens of thousands of patients. So this is not like, some luck of the draw thing. It's actually, these work. Now, this is why we failed initially with Betty, because we were only doing in-clinic stuff. And frankly, I didn't even have all the equipment we now have to make this better, but we only did in office. The reason that we won eventually with Betty and everybody else is they have home equipment they're using, and you treat this regularly. So by the same token, if you got a compressed disc in your back or your neck, then we can use the back on track that in the back over here really gently opens up the spine segment so that you can get the nerve flow to go where it needs to go down the legs again or into the hands. And then what Sandy's saying on here that you're in now is the pulse electromagnetic field. Remember I said the magnets are the other part of the physics? This is literally like taking your cell phone, and when the battery's drained, you put it on the induction charger. It's the same thing. It literally charges the body back up. and the batteries in the body. You may have heard of Tony Robbins before. He's got these in his homes. He sleeps on them before he does his presentations. Like it's a lot of pro athletes have this kind of technology. It just charges everything back up, and you heal quicker with more energy. Like, make sense? So that is a big helper. One other piece, this guy, the Beamer, 8 minutes on this will boost your circulation for 12 hours. Yeah, so I had one lady, she had 3 heart attacks in a year. I'm like, you need one for your house. Like, we can just do this one, so we got her one for home care. It's not super common, but if you need circulation help, that's a big deal. The other one that's in the back room over here, we can't really fill out, is the soft wave. And it looks like an ultrasound wand, but it sends a radio wave into the tissue, which then gets your stem cells activated. You may have heard of stem cell therapies. This actually uses your own body's stem cells instead of somebody else from who knows where, and then making sure that you create your own new healing possibilities. Reduces inflammation, blood flow boosts by 300%, and really speeds the healing of wounds and any ulcers that may be there. You see that foot over here? Yeah, so how many treatments do you think it took to get that? Ooh, 2, she says. I most commonly hear 10.
I have no idea. I would think a lot though, given that.
Well, one, it's like, is that even possible, right?
Yeah.
Like, holy cow, that's possible, right?
I thought that was a big person.
Yeah.
Frankly.
I had a nurse the other day where you go like, that's about to fall off, right? That was one session. One treatment.
One?
One.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Now, it was a colleague of mine. That was not my photo, but if I didn't know him, I'd be like, yeah, you're full of it. But no, he's like, oh, one session.
Wow.
Yeah. Does everybody respond like that? I can't promise that, right? But we do see crazy things happen in the tissue when you get it the right stimulus. So that's a game changer. The other one is breathing. Because we need what? Oxygen into the cells. So we're going to show you how to do that in a way that's going to allow you to get oxygen more profused in the body. You ready? So you're going to breathe in for 4, hold it for 4, breathe out for 6 with a hum, and then hold it out for 2 and repeat. Okay, so it looks like this. Hold it. Hold it out for 2 and, right? So let's do like 3 rounds together, okay? Breathing in. Hold. Good. In. Hold. Good. In. Yeah, right? Yeah.
I'm just breathing.
Similar to your story, I had a lady who was on her feet all day long for her job, worked 8-hour shifts straight through, ate lunch on the go. And she said, Doc, I'm at the workshop. I started that. I did it every 5 to 10 times every waking hour, like you mentioned. I realized most people might do it once or twice a day, so I try to overprescribe it. But she did that, and she's like, my feet are already feeling different within a week.
Wow.
Just doing the breathing. The humming is one of the magic parts of it that calms the nervous system down and puts you out of fight or flight, starts to get you into relaxation healing mode. Does that make sense? So that humming is a big piece of that.
Yeah, that Dr. Chopra used to go,
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like this is not like a new thing. It's just kind of been researched more now. And that actually does a lot of cool stuff. So a couple other stories to encourage you. Leroy's pain is 50% better, and he was type 2 diabetic, and he didn't get better results because he would not give up drinking turkey old sweet tea. He's like, I'm not giving it up. I'm a painter. I do that job, whatever. And he's like, I still got better. Sherry, I can feel my toes for the first time in 5 to 6 years. And that was about 2 or so weeks into treatment for her. Elsie, her balance was horrible. And her husband would drive her over an hour to get here for her visits. And now we don't see her anymore because she's doing amazing. And I am blanking on his name. Wow. I need some laser on my head. Better balance. I can feel my toes, and when I'm walking, it doesn't feel weird. And I haven't felt my toes in 10 years. But we haven't seen in a while, so I'm like, anyway, that's a little embarrassing, honestly. So yeah, these are the stories we get to be a part of. Let's see how we did.
Take these two here. Okay, I'll take them behind you here. Good.
There you go. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I got them both stuck on my finger and I felt the juice on that one. Ooh, that's yeah, we're cooking with gas on that one. Okay, what are you noticing at the moment?
I feel warmer.
Warmer?
Yeah.
That's different than typical?
Yeah. Not as much tingling
Oh wow, so that
in my
changed
hands or feet.
both.
Not as much, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it's still there, but it's
So let's say if it was a 10 and we're trying to go to 0, where would that be at the moment?
at 5 maybe.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Half better.
Yeah.
So that's a little more, I was thinking like a 1 or 2 notch and you're
No,
like
like this, like it has gone to these 3 fingers.
uh-huh.
And right now, the tip of this finger is the only one that I feel it in. The
Wow. That's a
tingling.
cool side effect.
Not in these 2, just this one.
Yeah. That's big. Let's see how we're doing on the motor.
Okay.
Let's have you raise that knee up into my hand here. Oh. What's that feel like?
It feels like it's taken a lot more of the strength to
Yeah.
do it, but it feels like
There's still, it's not 100%, but you had like nothing before and now it's starting to kick in. Yeah. Pull that heel backwards that way for me. Well, that one I did. I mean, I can pull on that. The hamstring really kicked on nicely. Bring your heels on the floor, ankles up and out. Pull that up. And now I'm leaning on that. There's still a little weakness on that one, but not near what it was.
wow.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, that was only what?
10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Maybe 11.
Yeah. Let's say you get out of the chair and check some balance and see if that's any different. What do you notice in the feet as you're standing there?
They feel, I don't know how, like they feel more connected to the floor. Like I don't feel like I'm off balance.
Wow. When's the last time you felt that?
When I was sitting in the chair.
When you were sitting. Whoa. That's really
It
cool.
really does.
Yeah.
That's completely different.
Let's check. This was a 0, right? What's this one here? You said 2, if I remember. That's gone.
Yeah, just a little pressure,
Little
not,
pressure, no
not
pain.
really pain.
How about in here? That one had a little more mustard on it.
That one hurts a little
A
bit.
little bit. It wasn't a 4. Was that down?
Or maybe a 2.
Maybe a 2.
Yeah.
And that one you said was a little something that's
Nothing.
nothing now. Cool. Let's check range of motion. This relax completely. Maybe not change up. What'd you notice on that?
Maybe a little.
Yeah, it felt about the same to me. But this relax completely. Or the clunk.
Clunk.
Any wincing?
No.
No?
Range is better, less pain, but that's pretty cool. Thumb backwards, elbow straight, pull in tight for me. Hold that in. That's a lot sturdier,
How long is this gonna last?
right? I always get that question, like, how long does
How
this
long
last?
is this gonna last?
Yeah, I'll tell you this, I've heard it last up to 2 weeks. So when they did the demo and then they gave it for exam a couple weeks later, and they're like, I'm still noticing the change. Other people, I don't know, might last. It depends on how drained the battery is, right?
Mhm.
And how many other drains are in the battery. You know, a day in and day out will depend on how long this kind of thing lasts. Now imagine, though, like, well, let's check balance. Those are our other main ones, right? You're ready to check balance? So let's do hands on the hips. And when you're ready, stand on the right leg down.
There's no way.
Yeah, you're doing all right.
Was that better or better?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I probably could have held it longer if I wouldn't have started laughing.
Seconds.
But it was like, I just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were laughing and then you had to put your foot down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were laughing and still balancing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
wow.
Can you see why we make claims like 50 or 100% better?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine doing that, and we only did like 2 pieces of the puzzle. We did nothing else. We didn't change diet. We didn't change, right? So that's a portion of the treatment. Imagine doing that day in and day out for 30 days, 90 days, 120 days, 6 months. You see why we're winning a lot. Yeah. That's the difference. When we leverage the physics the body needs to heal, it says, thank you, that energy has been missing for so long. Now let me do some cool stuff with it that you never thought possible. What you just witnessed is a medical miracle. Have you ever seen anything work that quickly? Yeah. That's life-changing stuff.
Thank you for letting me.
What a gift, right?
It's just a hard job.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for being here today. You're welcome to have a seat. And, yeah. So that's why we do this stuff, because it's like literally, it doesn't have to be misery.
And I will tell you, I've been doing experiments because people ask how long is it going to last.
Yeah.
If you do that breath exercise every hour on the hour, it will last way longer.
Yes.
Like every single time, it's like I've done people, I tell them not to do it, and I have people do it. It's like, hey, did you do the breathing? No ones who didn't do the breathing, they come up, it's like it was back to the normal the next day. The ones who did the breathing to start to stimulate that, they come back and it's like it stayed longer, like significantly longer than if they didn't do the breathing. Like that's how big like that stimulation with that breathing, the humming, activates that neurology there to make everything we're doing more efficient and last longer there too. So just a side note, just a side note of what's actually going on there.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like if we can make it last longer, hey, that's what I care about. It's not about me, it's about you. So whatever we can do to treat that, and it's like it's something easy. 30 seconds an hour. It's like, yeah. It's pretty easy.
Do it in the red light, whatever, like, yeah. Yeah. So, right, 2 options. Keep living miserably, or let's do something different that you saw works, right? That's simple. These are really common questions we get. So, I don't know if I qualify. We do our assessments. Thorough history, we figure out what are the driving factors that got you where you were and what is possible for your goals, right? How long does that take? Typically about an hour for the assessment, and then treatment times are going to vary in terms of how bad is my nerve damage, and then what's that going to mean for length of time that we need to treat to get ideal outcomes, right? Insurance coverage. What do you think?
No.
Yeah. Why not? Right?
Yeah.
Why don't they?
Yeah.
Because it would put big pharmaceutical companies out of business.
That's probably absolutely true.
That is the absolute
I
truth.
believe that.
There's they
100%.
That's not true though. I mean, chiropractor, don't they?
Yeah, so that's different though, because that's they pigeonhole chiropractic like back pain, musculoskeletal, and
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
we're doing for neuropathy. I should say nothing, but 99% of it is not that.
Yeah.
And so they go, oh, and then the kicker is Medicare writes the guidelines, and then everybody else got to follow suit.
Yeah.
And Medicare says any care plan or treatment plan is designed to make your quality of life better is not medically necessary.
It's making your quality of life better. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
medically
A
necessary.
contradiction in terms.
100%.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to
Yeah.
pay so much out.
So,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, and let's be honest, like, are they trying to look for the most cutting edge ways to support people, or are they just trying not to go bankrupt?
Do you take that quality care here or whatever that is?
Maybe.
Like they use it at the foot store and stuff. Yeah, it's a credit card that doctors.
Oh yeah, care credit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong? I thought.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of companies that are similar like that.
Credit.
Oh,
Yeah, that's on HSAs, like all that
That's
stuff
extra money.
is not a problem. But just to be honest with you, it's gonna be out of pocket. So expect that part. And then usually next goes, well, what's it like to invest in my health? Like that, you know. Depending on severity, all those things, averages what we see. To get you a home equipment that's gonna actually start winning with that at home, everything in there, we're gonna start probably in the 6,000 ballpark and can go up from there. And that just depends on how many factors are involved. You have to work on brain, you have to work on blood, gut. How many of those underlying root causes are we need to tackle to get the results we're after? And then commonly with like care credit, we can see that range from say what, 500, 600, 700 a month, depending on credit, all that sort of things. Like we've got options though. You hear my heart on this. We're never gonna turn you away for financial reason. Like we're gonna find something to support you if that's ever an issue. Does that make sense?
yeah.
So just to give you ranges.
You don't have to buy the equipment for home, do you? I mean,
Most people love that part.
like I'm just at the preventative stage, I think. Because you're
Yeah, I
right.
don't know yet. So again, if you need it for a home, that's what that might be. If you don't need it for a home, then it might be a completely different conversation. And so part of me is like hesitant to go through that because I don't want to, put expectations out there that they're not. But just to show you averages and what we've seen, that's I'll say 6 is on the low end. If you're actually getting equipment for a home that you're going to use for the rest of your life, that's a small investment for the return on that,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
So that being said, that's kind of what that looks like. Here's our process, and my promise to you is, if we do our assessment, we find out there's something in your history or we can't handle, we can't take care of you, we're not going to waste time or money on that. We're going to get you in the hands of somebody that's going to be your next support. Okay, and I've got a lot of other docs that work similar mindset. We're not just going to throw you into some medication plays, right? We're going to get you into some good hands if that's necessary. So let me show you that process, if that's okay with you. We have a 2-day process, pretty simple. Our intake, where we do our consult and figure out what your struggles and what your goals are. And then we go through our neurological exam, vital signs. We actually measure your balance. We've got a force plate that can actually quantify your fall risk and see if you're low, medium, or high. As far as that goes, we do more muscle strength testing like we did here, and then a sensory exam to see what you can and can't feel. And then we're going to know what percentage of nerve damage is there based on those assessments. We do our thermal imaging, and then we do a microcirculation test, which is looks like a pulse ox on your finger, non-invasive, about 3 to 5 minutes. We get a report like this, and it lets us know about your blood flow and arterial stiffness, if you will. When you're a type 5 or higher is when cardiology is going to start to see that. So we've saved several heart attacks, referring people out at the right time to get something like that checked. A lot of people come in type 3, type 4, and that's what we can, with our protocols, we can actually reverse that and actually make your arterial health healthier. That's everything on the slide for the diagnostics. Then the team gets together, goes over the information, and goes, what's the ideal plan for this person to get their goals back? And what's that look like? So then we put that together, give you a graph of your severity loss, again, over 85% there's permanent damage. There's like 4 stages in this, kind of like they're for cancer, right? So you got acute, moderate, severe, and permanent. And we go through what are expectations, healing times, what's possible, all that kind of thing. And we really encourage anybody that's on your healthcare team, that's like helps you make healthcare decisions. The more people that are here to support you, the better. So we invite you to bring anybody and everybody along that's part of that, for both the exam and the report. And then we go over care plan and your financial options and see what we're doing for that. And we go start winning. Okay, kind of that simple. That's everything on one slide. Total value, that's $875. And here's a couple things I do know. People that take action are the ones that win, right? So if you go, oh, this is great information, but you do nothing with it, you get more of the same, right? So I want to encourage you in that way. We're going to give you a couple of gifts. Fast pain away or numb away treatment. We're going to give you the full 30-minute session on that. On the second visit when we know that's the right one for you. And then the other one I'm going to give you is 25 anti-inflammatory recipes you can start using right now to get the inflammation down. Okay, so I want you to have those. Everything together, value is $945. But again, I realize insurance isn't picking this up, and my heart is to see if we can help you and really go distance with this. So we're not doing it for $945. Being here today, we're doing it for $147 for everything on there, both visits, everything you need to do. That's going to let me know, can we help you? What are your options? How to get your life back? Does that seem a little more fair?
Yeah.
We can't necessarily do this for everybody. For spending a beautiful Tuesday afternoon with us, we're going to say thank you for that and give you an opportunity to take the next steps in that. So here's how you take advantage of that. If you go, yeah, that might be a good idea. Just chat with Leslie. She'll get you appointment times and referrals available. And then if you go like, I don't know what my schedule is, call us within a day or two. We know you're here. We're not pushy or anything like that. But first available for that. Okay? That's simple. Nothing difficult. We talked about how we sit your exam. And then last, I just say thanks for being here. Until next time. That was fantastic. That was like, that was just amazing to see.
I did this to myself, even since I'm young even. Everybody makes fun of me. My toes are always curled. Like I'm always like this. Always like this.
Yeah.
And now I have atherosclerosis and
right.
everything's small. Yeah.
So how long do you want to stay that way?
My whole life I'm like this. Yeah, I can't take it anymore.
Yeah. Well, let's see if we can figure something out. I mean, you gave up her spot. You might as well come in and get the treatment anyway, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
47, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have some things to prepare for tomorrow, so I'm going to do my thing. Any other last minute questions for me?
She translated
I know a guy named Tom.
She did the whole thing.
Tom, you know what?
He's a mortician.
A mortician? Yeah, he's in the family business, right? That's what he said. Yeah. I believe, where's he live? I'm always surprised to hear where Tom and Sandy's are. Our side comes from Pittsburgh. And then it's the old country, right? It's south side or?
I love the south side now.
Yeah, now.
That's right.
Yeah.
My son went to Park College
Okay.
for a year or two.
Yeah.
And I was always up, it's right, it's on the south side, it used to be like a trap, but they revamped the whole thing.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, now, well, then that was
French and Italian.
10 years ago.
I used to
Yeah.
live in Wilmerding, in the Turtle Creek, and I used to keep working.
Okay. Yeah, beautiful.
I will tell you something before you ladies leave. This process of putting my shoes and socks on, I haven't done in months. I have a thing that I put my sock on, that I
My
pull
girlfriend
up
does too, and I'm gonna tell you about this.
because I can't put, today is the first day I've done this by myself without one.
Wow.
In months.
When we go somewhere, she waits for me so I can put her shoes and socks on. And I'm telling her about this.
Like I can't, and I swear to you, I'm not making this up. I have a sock thing that I have used
Yeah, she does too, when I'm
Wow.
not there.
because I can't put them on myself.
Wow.
I tell my granddaughter too, she has a Raynaud so bad, she lost part of her toe. She was just on a PICC line for 6 weeks because she might lose her thumb. Yes, I bet you that would help her. with her
I bet you it might.
How old is she?
She's only about 24.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
She had that scleroderma too, since she's
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Aw.
part of that.
yikes.
Oh, this is you.
Wonderful to see you all.
Thank
Till
you
next
so
time.
much.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
very much.
Yes, ma'am.
You gonna play with an appointment with me?
You know it's better to do, or I can tell you what our first event.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
I just like,
As far as this week is concerned.
I was so skeptical when I walked in, I'm like, they're gonna give me the blah, blah, blah.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think, if I wouldn't have actually, if I would have watched one of them do it, I probably still wouldn't have believed it.
Mhm.
But the fact that I just
Yeah.
took myself home by myself without an apparatus, I'm
Wow.
sold.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
you are welcome. Keep up the healing.
I am.
It's the beginning.
I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
I do, we do it one after the other. Like, when you're not in the appointment together, you'll let you have your own appointment. I can do Monday morning, the same thing, I could do, like, one of you at, I can do Monday morning, and probably, yes. Yeah, I can do. I can do it 9 to 7. You both be here from 9 to 10. Okay, so be here for that hour, and I was just kind of work back. Okay, so let me fix this so I can.
Is this
What's your first name? So basically,
Yourself. And a good email for you. SHARE. Care credit? Yeah, and right now, care credit is doing a 2-year no interest, so if you pay it off within 2 years, yeah.
and then the 500 for the thyroid review. Thyroid.
actually in the air.
Excuse me?
want to stop the progression of where it's at. And then the measures that we do, we want to improve something. So that's kind of the process of how we do it.
And these are up to date.
So now I'm gonna do that's Sharon.
There's an engagement paperwork.
All right. What is your first name?
It's okay.
I'm gonna come back.
I don't know why. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to let you know, so you both are gonna come in at 9. You'll be done by probably 10:15, okay? So we're just gonna you're gonna end up seeing, you'll see Dr. Tom City, you're gonna see Right?
Sherry?
Yeah.
I didn't tell her minimum or maximum, so she might have been doing like 4 to 6 to 8 hours a day. But if she takes a day off and she's feeling better, that means it's like,
If you have any blood work or anything done lately, and how the results for that, and looking at any like blood count or anything lately. Okay. Oh, on your care credit? I don't know that we take care credit for
at least that's my initial thought.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it. You want to read it because it's you said whatever all that was planned, right? Oh, the G has, yeah.
what time could you get here?
So I left work Tuesday, and she's like, it's really.
You'll be our last tip.
No, I
schedule it until the afternoon. Yeah, I get that.
No, it works. And I will give you.
As far as what?
I don't know, anything you were planning or curious about today?
I put it in the note.
Okay.
It's there was nothing from the legal list showed up,
Good.
but it was the advanced Lyme kit. So it was like, I don't know, 8 vials, 8 to 10 vials in the advanced Lyme kit. But it's
We'll do some back office testing, we'll do some down testing, and then
it's far beyond that. It's not like it's not like biochemistry at root. It's like organizing life type of deal. So it's like that's what we started with. Got the desensitization going, or desensitization of those going, so the body's no longer exhausted, and then we integrated. So she's her words. I think we put her body back in the container of the body. So
your phone number.
yeah, so she's coming back in tomorrow.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw it too, but yeah,
No, good.
she was like, we're on the way back. It's like, well, probably before you leave, you got a big weekend. It's like, it's not a late weekend. Like you're moving into an unknown territory. All this is graduating from college, and that's a really big step. Like, everything else going on in life. It's like, yeah, I was like, no, we'll come back in tomorrow before you get out and back. So yeah, no, but she's doing good. Like overall, it was like everything was making it simpler and nicer. Give her some awareness exercises to do, and just like make everything more structured. Like throughout the day, like doing dishes or like folding the dinner trays, like folding the address paper up, like throw instead of like crumpling up and throwing. It's like very structurally
I just wanted to
folding
make
it
sure we
and
wanted your
making
receipts.
that. It's like, okay, here's where it's moving rather than just perception behavior. And it's not like it's like, oh, I should do this. It should do like, no, you're gonna like structure some life and some stability right now. Because it's like, oh, I should. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm only going to take a nap, but I should go do this. I'm like, no, make it a point. It's like find out structure and kind of around that and build that, and then build life around that rather than whatever else is. So it's like those are like some. If you look into ways to support her, they're just like help support them. You're in a safe structure. This building's like, hey, I'm going to bed at 9 o'clock.
I have it in mind.
And it's like, if you telling her that it's gonna help create that structure where it's like, hey,
Have a great evening.
Me too.
something like that.
It's nice to meet you.
Like, add some time and structure.
Be careful
Might be easy, but it's like, let's figure it out. She already knows.
of how long you feel this way, okay? So when you come in for your appointment, I'm gonna ask you, like, how long it lasted, because I'm curious. Yeah, and she, for the first time, what was it you were able to do today?
The wage garnish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so she was the first one today. So I want you to keep track of
Most people, when
how
I first got the
long,
call,
okay? And this way, let me know when you come in.
she was on.
Okay, can you close that?
So they stopped this.
And he's like, what
He's
the?
like, hey Jeff, just deliver into his house.
Yeah.
So it's like, he's like, Jeff, by the way, it's like, hey, it goes into the town. Like, how many times did the name drop? Okay, perfect. And it's like, the issue was it's shock. It was like stress, and then it was like, I don't know what to do. This is my job. It's like, I was like, did they get you on the phone? I was like, oh, you're gonna have me in your account. I'm like, good thing you're good.
It does make a
Because
huge
like, that's
difference.
what I set up. So it's like,
Yeah.
if they're like, I think apparently they just made a judgment against me. So one of course, one of the pretty sure I know who it is to the amount that they
Sometimes we always
make
see a
a claim.
change in person, like, we always see
IRS
some
somehow I
change, it could be
missed
minimal, and sometimes we'll see a change like you, like, really,
2019.
but we always see a change.
And I was like, I
And that's
guess
only
they
fine
could
for
like
10 minutes.
rank that with
You know, so I told you all the time, like, if you're seeing
that
that in 10
much.
minutes,
I'm
imagine
not
if
sure
you
if that's
see
actually what's
doing
going
it,
on.
you know,
I
for
think
a
it's
few months,
something
and
else.
then if you do it as a home
During
appointment,
COVID,
it's something
they
you can
shut
carry
it
over
down.
the rest of your
They
life.
still making me payments.
Yeah.
So I started to file for bankruptcy. And somehow that fell through. Well,
Oh, did you
then
tell me
I
it
was
was
happening, and then I was like still
Is that on hers?
I was still fine for
Okay.
breakfast. The organizer
Yeah, I just
just
put it in, but do you want me to write anything?
and my backers had
No, I
turned really
didn't know.
tight.
Hers already.
And then
Her and I got to chit chat a little bit
Good.
before,
Yeah.
and I have
I kind
a
of looked
friend
at
that
it, he told me, it's like, hey, just wait until they do something. So it's like,
And we
this
do
is
a
the point
lot
I'm waiting
of
for. So I think,
natural remedy stuff.
what's up?
And,
Honestly,
I was, I was sure I was remembered quickly,
I think like, the only time that there's only one time
she's like, what now? She's, what are you doing now? And I told her, she said, yes, Mom.
Oh, that's
She's like,
great.
"Yeah, jump out of your
this is the
system
game,
and, you know, because
It's
I like.
I've understood the game, you know,
Yeah.
this is the game.
And-
So it's literally going from
And
the
your
first
essential
to the
oils
end.
for these.
But then-
Nutrition is a big part of what we do as part of it as well. We have our own nutrition system that we use, and if you do it the way that, you know,
So it's
tell
like,
you
that's
to do
where it's
it,
like this game, and it's like,
like,
they think.
so, and I told, you know, I get some people that will complete me and say like, oh, I know I can't
I
eat
would
this
say
or
enough
can't
to
eat that.
translate one.
When they go through it, if they do it right, then they'll usually say to me like, oh, I feel great, and then like, they do one day, they'll usually come in and they'll go, you know, I feel awful, you know, right after I did that. And it's kind of like you have to let them just do it, because just me telling them that's gonna happen, they don't really believe me, but once they feel it, so I would say, okay, now you remember this feeling, so next time you get that feeling on
It's like, I'll be able to negotiate.
your head.
But yeah, so I'm
You
not,
know,
I'm not
especially
worried
for
about
neuropathy
it.
patients, because some of them, they'll still very, pain will do better, they eat something, it's not refined sugar, especially, you know, or enemies.
I just got up and I was like, hey, you're ready to get
Yeah.
I didn't know I was
So,
Well,
they
So
feel
it's
it
like,
right
so it's
away,
like, that's where it's
and
like, that's the advantage, but it's
so
like,
that
you guys, like,
also put
nothing
me,
will change, I'll just.
you know, and right away, they're
It's
like,
like,
oh, I
okay,
had,
it's
you
like,
know, such and such, and I'll
it's like
say, well,
anything where I'm currently at.
it's probably the reason, you know, but it is hard sometimes for people to
So
really
I'm like,
believe
well,
it
like,
until they start to, you know, fire it.
I'm hurt.
I have some family members I have who get neuropathy so bad.
Lauren doesn't know
and
that's the
they're
game that I'm
like,
playing, but I
she
know,
drinks wine every
she's
night,
okay,
she
she
eats everything she
yeah,
wants,
yeah, so
and
it's
then
like
she's
some fun,
complaining about
I had
drinking.
some fun, like,
And I'm like, you're not gonna listen to me. I don't know what to tell you, like, you're my family, I'm giving you food, I'm telling you what
things
to
that
do.
they turn
You know,
to play the game
she
because they
just
think it
won't.
might work,
Like,
but.
oh,
I still get cookies.
you know, and those kind of
Maybe
things.
forgive me for
So,
that,
if you stick to
but
the
I'm playing
plan,
his game now. So, yeah, so that's for that.
Okay.
So next step, I can probably figure out the future levels of what's going on.
Yeah.
But standing still is
Sure.
hard. My feet are being
good.
They might include.
Wow. That's so nice to hear.
So it's like.
Well,
that's what
again,
it's-
let's keep track of how long
it's like,
it stays for you.
Okay.
Okay. When you come in, tell me that right away,
But yeah, next steps.
because I wanna write it
figure that
down.
out and
Write down
figure out what the next.
Right.
Yeah.
probably
Oh, I have a,
get it.
there's a tablet in my phone,
Okay.
and I'll just make
So
it.
whatever that is, if it's
Because it's not-
CPK.
And then again, if you had any kind of blood work.
I checked with Joe and he's like, I don't have it yet.
Anybody's
He's got,
got blood work done on Saturday.
did you see that video online? The trauma.
Okay, okay, oh yeah.
That one's gone.
Oh, you can take time to
I
fill this
watched the
out.
one that stayed, I wonder if it's the.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually.
But it's like
where I
for,
can
it's,
write
it's
it
like
down.
child patterns are not like,
Usually in
I
my.
can read through that and get that, it's more like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's free, if you want, you can pull it up this way, we'll take a look at that.
Your testing sequence.
Yeah.
If it's like, when you find this, like, well, here's what it's found, and here's.
You're
this,
so
that's kind of
welcome,
stuff.
glad
But
you
it's like,
came.
for me, it's the.
Glad you got a
it's like,
chance
it's
to
between the notes, so like,
Yeah, yeah,
you're testing 20
I
different
hope
things
that
that
you
you're
feel great all night.
saying this is what, this is not. So
Mhm.
it's like that piece is like.
Yeah.
I would support.
Yeah, I hope so too, that would be,
That was shoot for that.
that's right, all right.
Organized,
Let's shoot for
organized.
that, that's fantastic.
All right.
All right, you said nice meeting.
Generally speaking, chemistry, structure, motion, and whichever one makes the change, that's the file you're in. Okay, and then working for weakness is easier. And then when you find a weakness, then you go through the sequence.
Right.
That is kind of,
Right. So like learning that sequence is like
yeah. So, taking the
yeah.
like copy the pages and just looking at them as you go through them.
Okay.
That's the general flow.
Mhm.
And then there's priority, you already know.
Mhm.
And then there's endpoint.
I still have more questions with priority.
Okay.
Like that one is, but we don't have to figure that out today. It sounds like they have questions for you first.
I do.
Last piece
That's
of
okay.
this endpoint is where the body wants to treat now. It's like,
Okay.
this is it, and fix this.
Okay.
That'd be
Yeah.
all of the.
And how am I supposed to trust the body? That's the actual endpoint. That's my biggest
Mhm.
like that's the part is like, well, I need to figure out is like, do I actually trust the body? This is what it actually needs right here, right now, with everything else going on. That's the next piece that we could philosophically try and get the understanding. But
50 years of John doing it, and 20 years of me, it's like, works out pretty well.
Can you,
But I hear what you're saying.
can you
Yeah.
send me home with a microcurrent
yeah,
again?
do we know where the fourth one is? I have 3 back here. Oh, you have one? Okay, perfect.
The little,
You
Yeah,
gave
just
me a
double check.
microcurrent to take home
No, no.
with us. I don't think I
I
brought
would
it into the office. This
Okay, cool. I was just like, because it's like
That's
this
so
morning
funny.
I was in the
Like-
room and I was getting everything set up and I was like, I think we're supposed to have 4, but I would only see 3. So,
Yeah, I
okay,
didn't
you
bring
still
mine
have
this
one?
morning.
Perfect. Perfect. No, that's good.
Right, okay.
So these are these are just partial results that came in.
Okay.
I mean, I think the only thing that's not in is like the report and the supplement. Okay. But I printed out what we have. We'll put together a plan for them. Kind of the same way we did for, Lois and Melissa Hoover. How we did like each person, but then the at-home equipment was separate. This way, just therapy is for each person, and then the home therapy for both of you on the other sheet, right?
Yep.
So,
Jeff.
I'm gonna leave
Yes.
That's the,
No, I have not read.
stuff and like. What? No.
Cool. Perfect. No, that sounds good. That's what
We do the starting
that's
point.
what I wanted to. Yep.
And I'm driving by my, bigger vehicle,
I mean, if you just wanna run through, I'll write it down and then I can put it Yeah.
Jeff, remind me that I have to look to see who else I need to ship out supplements to tomorrow.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, I didn't hear you. Sorry.
It's okay. I thought you were on the other side of the wall.
I'm way back here. Yeah.
Do you remember Kathleen Grove? She was a nurse, young, has 2 young kids, still breastfeeding. There's a plan on here, is that she went home, part of me went to Rosa. Her phone, she has her phone there, saying,
Yes.
guys, brain surgery, yeah. Good morning.
Okay.
You guys are trying to see. That's what we want to talk for us. It's all balance with it. Very dry stuff, very happy.
Bye, Jeff.
If you look out the back window, the neighbor downstairs has a snake.